Hello everyone, this is Brad Wood again, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use HTTP2 in your CommandBox powered servers. And the answer is quite simple. You do nothing, and it is enabled by default. That's the good news. So I feel like I talk about this quite a bit in the CFML Slack, but CommandBox has a very powerful built-in Java-based web server that uses JBoss Undertow, which is very much an enterprise standard web server. It's part of JBoss Wildfly, and it's what powers the JBoss EAP suite of products. So it supports nearly probably everything you currently use IIS or Apache or Nginx for. You're more than welcome to stick CommandBox behind another web server such as IIS, but it's not a requirement. And in any cases, adding an additional proxy in front of CommandBox is only going to be adding an additional networking hop for the traffic to go through. So you literally will never make the networking portion any faster by adding a proxy. Sometimes I think people think like, oh, the built-in web server is too slow, let's set another web server in front of it. But I mean, I don't know if they realize the requests still go through the built-in web server after they've been proxied through the front-end web server. So you're not getting rid of anything. Now, there may be some specific features of Apache or IIS you'd like to use, but CommandBox does a whole ton of stuff. Client cert authentication, basic authentication, SSL certificates, configuration of everything under the sun, secure lockdown, automatic blocking of Cold Fusion administrators, of sensitive files. You're going to get the best lockdown just using the built-in CommandBox web server. So if you're using CommandBox for a public web server and you want it to have HTTP2, it's in there and it's enabled by default. Now, if you are putting CommandBox behind some sort of proxy, whether it's a load balancer, IIS, or Apache, anything, the HTTP2 setting is sort of irrelevant because your browser is going to negotiate that with whatever the very first proxy is that it comes across. And most proxies, like mod proxy, are going to then turn around and communicate to CommandBox over HTTP1. That's generally how that's going to work. So it really only applies if, people's browsers are directly hitting CommandBox. But there is a setting for it in the server.json. It is under server set web.http dos.enable, and this is set to true by default, so it's really redundant to set this. The setting is mostly there in case you want to turn it off, but I'll just redundantly set it to true anyway. And there's one other giant caveat, which is most browsers will only negotiate HTTP2 if you're also using SSL. So in order to actually test this, I need to do server set web.ssl.enable. Oop, no, not that one. SSL.enable equals true. I'm just going to use the built-in SSL cert. I'm not going to use a custom one right now. So my server.json has HTTP2 enabled, which is a bit redundant, and I've also turned on SSL. Otherwise, my browser will not negotiate that HTTP2 connection. There we go. Give just a quick second for our browser to pop up, and I'll show you how to confirm which version of HTTP is being used. Okay, here's our site, which just happens to be a little CommandBox app template. We're on port 1443. As you can see, it's secure. There's our little secure symbol. So if I open up my debugging tools and refresh the page again, we can see that the protocol here shows as H2, and that means we are using HTTP version 2 for this connection. If it just showed regular HTTP, then that means it would not be HTTP2. So that's basically it. You don't really have to do anything other than using SSL, and any modern browser will automatically negotiate directly with CommandBox's web server over HTTP2. All right, that's it. Happy CommandBoxing.